morning, Ram Fam. We are so grateful that you've joined us this morning. We are here with Dr. Jeannie Zubak, who is doing a virtual cooking class for us. Again, that's Dr. Jeannie Zubak, and she is doing a virtual cooking class for us today, Brunch with the Ram Fam. So thank you, Dr. Zubak, for being here, and over to you.
Great. Thanks, Lex. Hi, everyone. So glad to have you in my home kitchen today. As many of you know, we are moving into a new building and the Foods Lab is not ready yet. So we are doing this from my home kitchen. We're probably most comfortable. So as Lexi said, my name is Dr. Jeannie Zubak. I'm a faculty member in the Department of Nutrition in the College of Health Sciences, and I teach a culinary nutrition lab. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to walk you through some of the recipes that we make in our lab, and I'm going to give you some quick tips of how you can make healthy food at home so that you can do it, eat healthy food when you're on the go. We know that many college students don't eat so healthy, and they cite time as a factor in the barrier to healthy eating. So I'm going to give you a couple quick recipes today that you can, when they come home for the weekend, you can make it up, pack it up with them. If they're in an apartment, at the village, or on campus housing, they can go into the kitchen and do that. So I'm going to start by showing you what we're going to be making today. And here is a pre-plated menu that we're going to be making today. And you can see we have a banana muffin, and it's a muffin top. And the reason I'm doing muffin top is, I don't know about you, but when I go to a buffet, I like to eat a little bit of everything, and I don't want to be totally stuffed halfway through. So I take smaller portions of things. So this is a muffin top, and we know that the muffin top is the best part of the muffin anyway, right? So what I did over the summer is I invested in these little muffin top tins. Okay, it's from Wilton. I got them on Amazon. They're about $13, not really expensive, but I use them all the time. And I also use them for the muffin tin frittata that we're going to be using then. So you can find this on Amazon, like I said, about $13, $14, and it's a great addition to your kitchen that you probably will use all the time. In addition to that, we are going to be making a muffin tin frittata. And you look at this, I don't know if you can see it, but it has a lot of different colors in it. So it has some red peppers in it, it has some spinach in it, it has some mushrooms in it, a little bit of feta cheese, and then some eggs. Okay, so we have that. And then the last one, you really can't see this that well, but this is my waffle iron hash brown. All right, so what I actually use my Pitzell iron, and I just start with frozen hash brown potatoes. You can see like this, and this is live TV, guys. So I use the Wegmans hash brown potatoes. So I'm going to give you a tip that if you're going to make them with you right now, I would take them out because they cook better if they're a little bit thawed. So this has been sitting out for maybe about a half hour, and I seasoned it with a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Okay, so we will be making that. And then, of course, we have to add some fruit to our diet. So I did a little bit of apples for that. One thing that we do talk a lot about in my class is we want to buy local as much as possible. You know, people ask me about organic. Do I have to buy all organic? And my response to that is, if I had an unlimited food budget, no worries about the funds, I would buy all organic, but I don't. So I pick and choose. Something like the eggs, I will buy organic. And I love to go to the growers market right on Church Street every Saturday morning. And I love the Lindenhof Farms, the organic eggs. They're actually not certified organic, which is important, but I know the farmer. I know his farming practices. You have to understand that for a farm to become certified organic, it's a large process, and it's a very expensive process that many of our local farmers can't do. So if you were to talk to your farmer, I know Axel, I know his farming products, and I know that his eggs are probably the best that you can get. So we're using local eggs with that. The mushrooms that we're using in the muffin tin frittata, I also got at the growers market at the mushroom stand. I know the vendor. And I know he forages his mushrooms all the time, every week, and they're very, very, very fresh with that. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is when you're planning a meal, you want to put on the item that takes the longest time. You hear my oven is there. It's just binging because we practice something called mise en place. And mise en place is a French term meaning everything in its place. I teach my students that if you gather all your ingredients, have it all ready to go, that's going to be the best for you because then you just have to, you'll be like a cooking show, put everything together. Most importantly, you won't miss an ingredient. I don't know about you, but I've gotten to the end of many recipes and all of a sudden I look over there and the egg is there. I'm like, oh my goodness. So by practicing mise en place, you're going to have everything ready to go. So our first recipe is our banana muffin recipe. And it says that you need muffin pans, which we have. We need our fork, which we have. It says wooden spoon. I prefer my silicone spoon. I think it's better, acts as a better scraper as well. You need your measuring teaspoons and your measuring cups. Very, very important that you use measuring teaspoons instead of the teaspoon from the kitchen drawer because it's a more exact measurement and that's what you want to use. For the measuring cups, there's two different types of measuring cups. These are dry measuring cups and this is a wet measuring cup. All right, so when you're measuring liquids, you want to use the wet measuring cup, dry using the dry measuring cups. Okay. The next thing it says mise en place bowls. Okay, so in our lab, we have a lot of things like the ramekins and the little custard cups that we put our ingredients in. But if you don't have them, what I found and what we're doing this year is, ready? We are using a muffin tin. And what you can do is you can get your muffin tin and then put these little wrappers in it, put it right in there, and then you don't have to clean a lot of dishes. So genius, isn't it? Yes, yes. So right now, if we look at our ingredients, we have a teaspoon of baking soda, a pinch of salt, which is about 1/16 of a teaspoon. We have 3/4 cup of sugar, and we have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So you can see it. I have it right in here in my little cups. So all I have to do is dump it in. And I get the foil ones, and the foil ones enables you to put a little bit of liquid in it. So we're all ready to go. I have everything measured out, but I want to talk to you about the type of flour. So on the recipe, it says, I prefer whole wheat pastry flour. Well, guess what? COVID has messed up a lot of things. One thing that has messed up is our food chain supply. And it is very difficult to get my Bob's Red Mill whole wheat pastry flour. So what do? We have to adjust. We're good at that. And now I'm using the white whole wheat flour. You're still getting the benefits of a whole wheat flour, but you're not getting that dense, coarse texture. This is found in Wegmans, and it's a lovely, lovely product. You can hear we're there. Okay, let's go through our ingredients again. So we have 2 to 3 medium bananas that are peeled. Every single week, I buy 2 bunches of bananas. One bunch is going to be for eating. The other bunch I'm going to allow to ripen and put in the freezer. So at any given time, I have tons of bananas in my freezer. Now, if you're using frozen bananas, you want to take them out a little bit longer, a little bit before, and you want to put them in your bowl. And you're going to see they have a little bit of liquid in it, but that's okay. It just makes it easier when you're going to be mixing it. Okay, so do we have all our ingredients? I have my sugar, I have my flour, I have my baking soda, I have my salt, I have my vanilla extract, I have my egg, which I have lightly beaten. I have that all ready to go. I have my fat. Now, this is, you can use any type that you want. And I melted this a little bit. This is actually a low-fat spread. It's actually, I can't believe it's not butter light spread, but it's solidified a little bit. So I'm going to pop this in the microwave. Get it going. Make that melted. Okay. So we have that, all of our ingredients. Preheat the oven. So we talk about step 1. preheat the oven. You heard it go off, it's all ready. Step 2, you're gonna spray your muffin pans with your Pam. Okay, so I have this right here. And again, you want to do this before, because there's nothing worse when you're ready to go, I have to stop and do it. So we'll just do that. In my lab, I tell the kids, spray it over the sink, because you don't want it to go on the floor, which is fine. So we're ready to go. I can put this over here. And then the next thing we're going to go, it says, we did all that. We measured everything out, but if we were doing it live, we would take the time to measure it out. And now in a large mixing bowl, smash the bananas. The miracle of TV, they're already done, right? Okay. And then what we want to do is we want to take our other mixing bowl. So with that, we will take our flour that is already measured out. Then we are going to take our salt, dump that in. And then we're going to take our baking soda, put that in. Now it's really, really important that you whisk this together, because you want to evenly distribute the leavening agents. If not, I think we've all eaten a muffin, and you get that little bitter taste. That is your baking soda that has not been evenly distributed. Okay, so we're going to do this. And after that, we did that. We added the sugar. I'm going to add this right here. Boop. Okay. And I just did a wrong thing. The sugar was supposed to go to the bananas, but that's okay. All right, so I have my bananas. We're going to pretend that I added my sugar right there. All right, now we're going to add our vanilla extract. I have it right here. We're going to put that. Now we're going to add our beaten egg. Put that. Mixing it all up. So we have our wet ingredients all up. I do want to talk to you in a minute about the vanilla extract. If you go into the grocery store and you see the vanilla extract and you see how expensive it is, you're going to say, wow, do I need to use real vanilla extract, or can I use an imitation extract? Well, the answer is America's Test Kitchen, which is my favorite resource for cooking. They did a blind taste test of their cooking experts, and they found that even the people with the most fine, delicate palate could not tell the difference between pure vanilla extract and an imitation extract. So if you want to save a little bit of money, you can buy the imitation. This is a blended extract. But what I like to do, I like to go to BJ's or Costco, and you can buy it inexpensively in a large container, so that you can use the imitation vanilla extract. All right, so we have our wet ingredients all ready to go. And then we have our dry ingredients, and we're gonna mix it very nicely. And then we're gonna combine the two. Take this out here. All right, and we're just gonna put it in. We're gonna fold it in here. In my lab, I normally have an assistant that takes my dirty dishes. So that's one of the downfalls of not being in the lab. So I'm gonna mix it in. And because I know that my grandchildren are going to want to be eating this, I am taking the liberty of adding a little bit of chocolate chips. Okay, that's totally optional. But the way I look at it, this is a relatively healthy recipe. You can cut down the sugar. It's kind of more of a treat. This isn't something that I would do all the time, but it does have the whole wheat flour in it. If you wanted to make it a little bit healthier, you could definitely cut down that sugar. Down to about a half a cup, and you wouldn't see a big difference. So we have this right here. Now I'm mixing it. You don't want to over mix it. If you over mix your muffins, what's going to happen is you're going to get tunnels, you're going to get holes in it, and it also can be a little bit of a tough muffin. And that's because in the flour, there are the gluten molecules, and when you're mixing it, the more you mix it, the tougher those molecules get, and it gets a tough muffin, and then you can get some holes or tunneling. So I'm just kind of fold this in. You want to mix it until you don't really see a lot of the flour going on, but you can see, get the bottom, and I think I'm pretty good with that. Okay, so we have it there. Next thing, if you do not have in your kitchen a scoop, I highly recommend, oh, what did I forget? See, because I'm talking too much. I forgot my melted fat. Okay, I'm gonna add this in. And I'm gonna mix it again. All right. So what happens is, if you do not have a scoop like this, I would highly recommend that you get one. You can get them on Amazon. What can't you get on Amazon? And it is about $13. Martha Stewart also has a very, very good one that I think you can buy in Macy's. But this is a kit. Every kitchen should have a big and a little scoop. If you're making meatballs, if you're making cookies, things like that, you definitely want to use our scoop. Okay, so I'm just going to mix this a little bit. We have our prepared pan. Take this like this. Now, this is going to make 12 very nice muffin tops. Put it in here. And after you do that, you want to make sure that you wipe the sides of the pan so you don't burn your pan. And that's a mess to clean up. And it doesn't smell so great. We'll put it in here. And my kitchen's going to smell really good. I made these yesterday, so now we have 2 batches in there, which is great. You can freeze them. I will be freezing these. You can put them in wax paper, wrap them in wax paper, and then put them in one big Ziploc bag or a Rubbermaid container, glass container. I do want to tell you, let's watch the plastic that we're using. The university is all about sustainability, and you know, we want to decrease our carbon footprint, so we try not to use a lot of packaging if possible. Sometimes you can't help it. So we have here and there. Okay, and then I'll take my fork, mix it down a little bit right here. Okay, so we're ready to go. I'm going to pop these in. And I'm going to put my timer on. I know my oven, it's about 13 minutes, and everybody's oven is a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is give me 1 minute. I'm going to clear my station. This is where you get your student in here and make them clean everything. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is, now we're going to go on over here and we're going to do our muffin tin frittata. Okay. So first thing you want to do is, I'm going to move this up a little bit. Get everything ready. And I'm going to heat my pan. So looking at this, we're talking about a little bit of olive oil. If you want to use a vegetable oil, that's fine. You can do that too. Your non-cooked kitchen spray, you want to use that. Then we're going to use our 6 eggs. We're going to use a ½ cup of milk. And I would, if you were my lab, I would say, what type of measuring cup are you going to use? Liquids, you're going to use a liquid measuring cup. Now, a quick cooking tip is that I just use my liquid measuring cup to put my eggs in. It's a lot easier, so you're going to crack them. And I'm looking for my whisk. I have everything all together. Well, we won't use a whisk here. We'll just use a fork. Okay, so you're going to whisk up your eggs. You can see this. And then after that, you know, you want to whisk them pretty good. And can you see the color of these eggs? You see how vibrant they are? That's the difference between a locally grown egg and the ones that you get in the supermarket. So if you can do it, that's fine. They're a little bit more expensive, but I feel good about using them. That's what I said. You pick and choose what you want to do. So things that I do buy organic, I buy the organic eggs or the locally produced eggs. I do buy organic carrots, and I do buy organic celery, just because they tend to have a little bit more pesticides in it. But if you don't get the organic, no problem. Wash them really well and then just peel them. You're good to go. So I have my eggs in there, and then I have my milk in here. I'm going to mix that up, put it over together, and mix it up. So we have that. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is the vegetables. So it says to have about a cup of your vegetables. I have some baby spinach, and you can see I tore it up. always want to get rid of the stems. You don't want to get the stems because that can be a little bit bitter. And then I cut up some of these mushrooms that I got from the growers market. Really gives a really nice flavor. And then, I don't know if you know, but our Ram Chefs, and our Ram Chefs is a group of young adults with developmental disabilities that come on campus into our lab, and we teach them how to cook. We actually have a garden that is down in South Campus, outside of the Village Apartments. So if you're ever down there, you'll see the Ram Chef's garden, and we have beautiful peppers, lots of peppers at this time of the year, more than we can use. So what we're going to do is we're going to dice them, we're going to blanch them, we're going to put them in the freezer, and we're going to have green and red peppers for all winter long. But I have this, it's all diced up. So you can see the vegetables that I chose as the spinach, the mushrooms, and the peppers. I heated my oil, just a little bit of oil. I'm going to put this in here. Okay, I'm just going to whoosh that around. I'm going to give that a minute to cook as I'm talking. In addition to your egg mixture, you want to add your seasoning. So the recipe just says a dash of salt and pepper. That's the original recipe. When you cook, you have a culinary license. You have a creativity. You can add whatever you like to it. So what I did is I added a little bit of onion powder and a little bit of garlic powder. Now remember, not onion salt and not garlic salt. I used the powder because I did put a pinch of that salt and pepper in. So I have this here, put that in here. I'm gonna whoosh that up. It's kind of stuck. Like my word whoosh, that's my neighbor's word. We whoosh everything up in our kitchen. And you can hear my stove top going, and they're gonna cook really, really nice. We always talk about mindfulness in the kitchen. And I don't know about you, everyone's stressed. I can get lost in my kitchen with my knives. You listen to the sounds, the beautiful. I don't need an essential oil diffuser. I have my garlic, my onions, and my mushrooms. So kind of use that to take advantage of the kitchen. Try not to be rushed in it and just kind of absorb yourself in all the smells and the sounds and the sensations. So this is sounding really, really good. Watch your heat. I'm going to put the peppers in right now. Put that in. Then I'm going to take my spinach. Looks like a lot of spinach, but we kind of go from there. And eventually you're going to see it's all going to wilt down. I'll show you the power of cooking here. Not so good. Yep. All right. This is a little bit better. So you can see we're going to give that a couple minutes. Okay. And now if we were live, this is the time you would ask some questions. Do that. All right. Cook that down. You can see how the spinach is really getting a little bit smaller. All right. I'll put this back up here. All right. So at this point, what we want to do is we want to get our muffin tins, and we will spray them. And then what you can do is you'll take your egg mixture, and this is why I use the Pyrex glass, because you can just pour it in. Let me just push this around. And by the time I'm done pouring, my vegetables will be done. So I will pour this, evenly distribute it. And then after we do that, that's when we will put the vegetables and then the cheese. After this, we're going to be going to making our hash brown in the waffle iron, Pitzel iron, whatever you have. So it's a good idea if you have a second set of hands in the kitchen to start preheating your waffle iron, because sometimes it takes a little bit, a couple minutes to get heated. And if we want to be efficient in it, so you can see, we have this all ready, and it's 6 eggs. It's just perfect. And the milk, and it makes 12 little frittatas. So having 2 of them is the equivalent of 1 egg. So the people that are watching and they want to get, want to make sure that you're getting their protein, 2 of them is actually a serving. Okay. So now my vegetables are all done. Okay, you can see how beautiful they are. We'll put it all there. And then I'm just going to take a little spoon. Okay, so we have our spoon, and we're just going to put it on here. Now, the recipe said to drain the vegetables, and that would be if you are using frozen vegetables, okay? I'm not using frozen vegetables, but if you're using frozen vegetables, and that's what you will be using during the winter time. Again, we're going to eat local. So right now we have our local vegetables, but after about October around here, you don't really have the local vegetables. So that's why you're going to go frozen. As I said before, I'm going to be taking my red and green peppers, and I'm going to be freezing them, blanching them. If you want to do that, all you do is you cut up your vegetables. You have some boiling water. You want to boil them for about 1 to 3 minutes, depending on the vegetable. And you can look, there's many charts online that you can get for that. And then after you do that, after it boils, you want to take them out and plunge them in cold water. And that's going to destroy some of the enzymes that is going to, if you would freeze them, would give it that mushy texture. So you're going to prevent with that. And you can have a freezer full of wonderful vegetables. So I have all my vegetables here, putting in here. It's kind of hard to talk and do at the same time, but we're doing that. All right, we have that. And then we are going to take our feta cheese. I use feta. You can use whatever type you want. Goat cheese is really lovely as well. Take your little spoon. You can put a little bit on each. And then you're going to pop them in the oven for about maybe 15 minutes, whatever you want to do this. Again, this is a great, you can freeze these and you can take them out and, you know, put them in lunch, put them in your lunch bag, go into work. It's a great little snack for work as well. And also, if you want to put this on a breakfast sandwich, you can get those bagel thins or the rounds or toast, put it on a breakfast sandwich. It is wonderful. So I'm just going to take a peek here so you can see that is what it looks like. And I'm going to put it in the oven, but I still have 2 minutes for my muffins. So wait on that. Next, we're going to pivot over here and we are going to, okay, we're going to come over here and now we are going to start. We are going to make our hash browns. Okay, give me a minute, guys. We have to pivot. We're having some technical difficulties here. All right, I'm going to put these over here. So the next thing we're going to do, as my waffle iron is heating up, and actually I use a Pizzelle iron. I like a nice thin, crispy waffle, so we're going to use my Pizzelle iron. Now we're going to make a ginger pina colada. Well, it sounds really great. It's actually a green drink, all right? So what you can do is you can make this and then you can freeze them. So I will make up a batch. I will put them in a mason jar and then I will put them in my freezer. So this is one that I made yesterday. When you are freezing them, you always want to make sure that you don't fill it all the way to the top. You just want to give a little bit of a lip because when it expands, okay? So what we're going to do, let's do the recipe. So with our recipe, you're going to do a tablespoon of fresh ginger. And if you're the person that has a little bit of upset stomach in the morning, the ginger is going to help soothe that. Then we're going to do a tablespoon of lemon or lime juice, and that's about a half of a lemon. I do prefer fresh, but you know, the concentrate is fine in the refrigerator. Then we're going to use fresher pineapple. We're going to use bananas. We're going to use spinach or kale, and I have my kale all ready to go. I'm going to show you that. Kale is one of those vegetables that just never goes away, never goes away. So what we do is we take it and we blanch it and we freeze it. And this is exactly 2 handfuls. So I have it ready to go. And then we're going to use some coconut milk. For the coconut milk. Okay, live TV, guys. My muffins are ready. Give me a minute. How's that? Look how beautiful they are. They're just wonderful. So I'll put them in. I'm just going to put my eggs in now. So the eggs are in now. Okay, so now let's get to our pina colada. So this is something you can do for breakfast. What I like to do is I do add a little bit of collagen powder to it, just because if you're using it as a breakfast, you really want some protein in your breakfast. So I will add 2 scoops of the collagen powder. So we use the coconut milk. We use the light. Yes, coconut milk is a saturated fat, but you're only using a small amount of it. And if you are following a plant-based diet, that the majority of your foods are coming from whole grains, fruits and vegetables, you can count this as a little bit of your saturated fat. If you're the meat eater, if you're the big cheese eater, you want to watch your saturated fat because you're getting in those items. But if you're plant-based, you can afford this. So we have this, our coconut milk. We have that ripe banana. We have some almond milk, unsweetened almond milk, a little water, and then we have our flaxseed. I think every kitchen should have some ground flaxseed. I buy this at Wegmans. Wegmans now has their own brand. It's a little bit cheaper than Bob's Red Mill, but this is fine. It is ground flaxseed. Because it is ground, you need to keep it in the refrigerator. Once you open it, you're going to put it in the refrigerator. This has omega-3 fatty acids in it. 1 tablespoon of flaxseed a day will give you all the omega-3s that you need. And especially those that are following the plant-based diets and are not doing the fishes, you definitely need to have this in diet. I actually put this in my oatmeal every single morning. Okay, so we have our ingredients and then a little bit of maple syrup. Put it all together. So in the magic of the kitchen over here, we're going to go over here. And I apologize, guys. We're a little bit, we'll put you up here. There we go. Okay, we need the video people here. What I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to put that waffle on. Okay, so I have my Pizzelle iron. You can use a waffle iron if you want. You're going to open it up. You're going to take it. And yes, I use a lot of Pam here. Spray it on. Take this. I'm going to put it on here. And it's nice and hot so you can see. It's going here. And I'm going to squeeze it. Okay. So you can see right here. It's right there. Okay. So now what we're going to do, now I'm going to go into my toaster, Okay. So we're going to take everything. So I have all the liquids here. This is the water. It's the coconut milk. It's the almond milk and the maple syrup. I put this together last night. You're going to shake it. You're going to pour it into your Vitamix blender, whatever you have. And then your ginger, okay, ginger. This is fresh ginger, smells wonderful. If not, you can use a 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger, put that in there. I have my bananas and my flaxseed, put that in here. My frozen pineapple, put it in here. One there. And then kale or spinach. Here's my kale. and my spinach. Put this on here. And now comes the time. Everybody has to hold your ears because my Vitamix is very loud. Okay. Plug it in here. All right. You ready to go? All right, hold your ears. Okay. Look how beautiful that is. We'll pour it. Look how lovely. And if you want to add the collagen, you can add the collagen. Let me taste it. Tastes pretty good. So good mid-morning snack. At this point, I'm just waiting for my hash browns to come. I have about 8 minutes left for my eggs to be done. But as you can see, we have it all right here. Okay. This can all, like I said, be frozen, and you can just take it out day by day, and then you can add it. So we will wait a couple minutes. And how about some questions? Lex, do you have any questions?
Sure. Dr. Zubak, can you talk a little bit about your classes that you teach in the nutrition department?
Sure. I teach culinary nutrition, which is NTD 205. So if your student is looking to take a great class, it's a culinary nutrition lab. We talk about nutrition. We talk about principles of selection. So everything I did today, we talk about brands that we're buying, why we're buying that brand, where we're sourcing it from. We talk about nutrition and health. We talk about all the different nutrients, and then we talk about the preparation. I think it's really important, Lex, to know that one of our student learning outcomes is to promote pleasurable eating while promoting good health. So I think that's kind of what it's all about. And everything that we did today is what we do in class. It's similar to what we do in class.
Awesome. And then can you tell us a little bit about your background? I know you have a very interesting background.
I do. So when I graduated from college, I went into the food service arena. So I was a food service director for a school district. I love school lunch. Sometimes I think I should have never left because that's such a great career path for young people to get into, because it is so impactful of feeding our youth in the school setting. I then went on to Villanova University, and I worked at Villanova for about 5 years as a food systems manager. Then I went back and got my master's and became a registered dietitian, started working in wellness, started working for a company called Sports Physical Therapist. I then got my affiliation with professional teams. And in 1989, I was the dietitian for the Philadelphia 76ers and the Philadelphia Flyers. And I was with the Flyers until 1997. I was with the 76ers and just until last year. I retired after 31 years with the 76ers. I was also the dietitian for the Philadelphia Eagles. And yes, I will be changing from my Westchester gear to Eagles gear in about an hour. And I was the dietitian for the Eagles under Coach Reed for 13 years. And then I went back and I started teaching at Immaculata, then came to Westchester in 2005. Went on to get my doctorate and became a tenure track faculty in 2014. I'm a tenured faculty associate professor. So that's me. I have three grandchildren. Oh, maybe I don't know something. I have 2 grandchildren, 3 daughters and 2 grandchildren. And I love to cook. I love to entertain. And hold on, Lex, let's see. Let's open this up. Okay, you can see. Okay, I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. I like it a little bit crispier, so you can do that. So yeah, so that's what I do. Love my job. Have the best job on the face of the earth. I love our students. Love, having them in the lab, and they do so many great things with us. So that's where I am right now.
Awesome. What a cool background you have. What was it like being a dietitian to the athletic sports teams?
It was great. It was challenging. It was exciting. And, you got to meet a lot of people. You got to learn a lot about different backgrounds, a lot of different cultures that I wasn't familiar in. I got very, very familiar. But at the end of the day, Lex, there are people like you and I. They need good nutrition just like we do. They just need a little bit more of it and a little bit more specific. But I like to say that our students are athletes in the classroom, and we need to fuel and nourish them. So that's why cooking like this is so important. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. So I think we're pretty much all done. Again, this is our plate. Lex has the recipes online. And again, this was live, gang. So there were a little bit of mistakes, but that this is live TV.
It was lovely. Thank you so much, Dr. Subak. What a fun morning. And I'm sure folks will enjoy today and also enjoy moving forward this great video. So thank you so, so much.
Great. And Lex, thank you so much for all you do with Parents Weekend and getting the communication to the parents. It's so important. You got a shout out to our Lexi.
Thank you so much, Dr. Subak. You have a wonderful day and go Birds.
Yes. Okay. Rams up first.
Rams up, then go Birds.
Yes, exactly.
Have a good Sunday.
Bye. Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.